Hello everyone, thank you for joining us once again as we continue our Justice for Aaron Brady campaign. This evening we're going to have a quick look at two questions that have come into the social media sites asking some questions about Aaron's campaign and about the investigation. We appreciate anyone from the public. Please get in contact with us if there's any issue or any points you want clarified. Please contact us and we'll try and interact with you as best we can and clear up any queries or questions you do have. So the first one we're going to have a quick look at this evening is from Munyon. Why did Aaron go to America if he had nothing to hide? Well, we've covered this, I think, on a number of occasions, but it's very, very important to continue to do so and get the message across and how this whole aspect of Aaron going to America was manipulated. So there's a sequence of events, and that sequence of events started really with this row of pixelated pictures that originated initially within a week of the Northern robbery, and obviously you can see the pictures are pixelated there, but there was a short period of time when these photographs were on the social media site for the Sunday World and there was no pixelation. And obviously a number of people had seen those photographs and Aaron was identified as one of those people, obviously. And then that was taken and printed in, as you can see here, on the front page of the Sunday World. So obviously Aaron was mentioned at that time and it became widespread in the local area, and it obviously had a serious effect on Aaron because he couldn't believe this was happening, and over a period of time, within a week or 2 weeks, you know, he had withdrawn into himself and he had felt uncomfortable out in public. And indeed, we were aware of it ourselves because we were involved in the community and we continued to do so. And there was an awareness from ourselves that I suppose the people are looking at you. But it was a bit surreal at that time, very hard to take it in and absorb it. But it is something, when we look back 10 years ago, it's difficult to explain how I think we would have handled it if hindsight is 20/20 vision. And again, I'm just going to mention in relation to this, when I did mention we're 10 years on now in the investigation and since the Northern robbery. If you were to ask the Sunday World or the investigative reporters, they cannot change the number of people in the pixelated photographs there. They can't link any other people to Aaron Brady that would have created this gang. So even 10 years further on, the media and the investigation couldn't go any further because the gang that was created then simply did not exist. And Aaron or the other people pictured here, the other two people pictured here, had nothing to do with the Northern robbery at Lordship Credit Union. So we move on then on how the media progressed. This continued in the media, and then I think the breaking point for Aaron was when articles like this started to come up. You can see it there. Adrian suspect's father is a well-known club GAA man. So obviously there was reference to me there in a number of newspaper articles, and it mentioned the club, it mentioned my involvement in Ulster GAA, which obviously I was heavily involved, still heavily involved in the GAA, and it would have been very much part of our family life. And when Aaron seen this, I think it was the straw that broke the camel's back. And around that, a few days before that came out on the newspapers, was published, Aaron had a court case in Dundalk, well documented, in relation to the dangerous driving in Dundalk. And he had pleaded guilty to the dangerous driving in Dundalk and was going through the process of various court dates. And a member of Garda Síochána said something to Aaron at one of those court dates, and linked with the coverage in the press, that feeling of everyone looking at you and talking about you locally in your own community was just too much for him, and he decided to go to America. And that is as simple as it can get. It was very surreal at the time. Obviously, 2020 vision, we look back, we would deal with it an awful lot more differently. But we never thought it would go anywhere. And actually, our thoughts at the time was that it was some sort of a ruse by the An Garda Síochána and the mainstream media to sort of in some way flush out the real gang and the real persons who shot and murdered Detective Garda Adrian Donoghue. So I hope that answers that part of the question. It is as simple as that, just local pressure, the media coverage, and as I say, when Aaron seen the coverage mentioning my involvement with the GAA, the local club, and it was just too much, and he just wanted to get away from it all. So hopefully that covers that, Munyon. Second text, we're going to have a quick look at Owen McCarthy here. Were people from South Armagh's names circulated before or after the Sunday World article? Who was driving that narrative? Thanks. So, because it's 10 years ago, very difficult, Owen, to be precise here, but I think the Sunday World article was the beginning of the explosion mentioning Aaron's name locally. I think that would be the best way to explain it. So before the article, probably not so much, but the article was out very, very quick. There was nearly no time to absorb any whispers before that. It all happened as soon as that article, or the pixelated pictures that went out on the social media website without the pixelation. And then it just exploded from that on. Who was driving that narrative? Well, it's difficult to say who was driving the narrative. It is obviously members of An Garda Síochána who were giving details, as these people that are known as sources. I've mentioned this before. It wasn't a chef, it wasn't a butcher, it wasn't a lorry driver that was giving the details to the Sunday World. So it was obviously a member of An Garda Síochána. And we have highlighted on a number of occasions that Senior Investigating Officer Mr. Pat Marry and quite possibly Sergeant John Maroney had a fixation or an idea because of the pressure they were under. They went for Aaron and these two other people, and they went down the rabbit hole and they refused to come back. And once we got into mid and late February, and I would imagine, and I know members of An Garda Síochána would have had an awareness, this gang doesn't exist, these people can't have done this. But it was too late, and the pressure for those people to get a result in relation to arresting, making arrests, and getting some sort of closure for what had happened at Lordship Credit Union car park. And they had gone so far down the lane, at some stage someone had to make a decision. I'm going to say, I do believe it may very well have been Senior Investigating Officer Mr. Pat Marry. He was going to continue, and we'll deal with his input into the case in the next couple of weeks. So I think that's who was driving that narrative. I've said before, South Armagh is a very easy target for clickbait journalism, as I suppose if we go back to probably not that long ago when you had Limerick City had the tag Stab City, which I know a lot of people from Limerick are very, very unhappy with, and just being everyone in the city painted with the same brush was very, very difficult for them, as it is with the people who live here in South Armagh, and it's just bandied about South Armagh, bandit country, and it suits cheap clickbait journalism, I suppose, as we've mentioned before. So, Owen, that's as much as I can say about that. Was it before? Very little before, I think, the Sunday World, but once the Sunday World article went out, the pixelated photographs, that's when there was an explosion of gossip in relation to that, and the names were mentioned. So once again, thanks to both people, to Munyon and to Owen McCarthy, for asking. I hope it clears it up a little bit. Any further questions, please pop them to us and we'll try and deal with them as best we can. Once again, thank you for joining. Please like, comment and share. And now our YouTube channel is moving along very nicely. Please subscribe. Please subscribe, please like, comment and share. It really helps our algorithms and helps us against the attempts to suppress our social media website, social media sites. Once again, thank you for watching and we'll see you again shortly. Thank you.